good work and do some, you know, help a neighbor and help get some stability going for them. And so I applied for it. My grandma told me, and she's like, hey, that would be really good. Like your, you know, pantry would qualify for that public, you know, helpingness. So I applied, got the grant, or got the seed money that they call it to help get it started and help expand our project. And that is what part of the money we used to help build the 15 baskets that we got for them. That was like my big accomplishment. And then I suppose what I learned from this is that just because I'm food secure doesn't mean that the person sitting next to me in class is food secure. It's one of those things that people don't want to talk about. And if we can just open up the light to them and open up the light to resources that we have actively made available for them, it will be easier on them and it'll help them in a way that goes unnoticed from my perspective personally. And it really made a big difference to make those packages, to know that we did directly help 15 people, and regardless if they knew who it was from, who the students are who are a part of this group or not, it doesn't mean anything because I knew 15 families were going to be provided for a portion of the break that we were on. So I guess that's what I learned.
The bags she's talking about, they put 15 bags together for meals for families in the child care center. And so someone from here contacted the child care center. They said they could use 10 to 15 bags, and then there's probably at least 2 to 3 meals in those bags. Probably about a $17 to $18 value per bag.
Yeah.
I'm Carly Knudsen. I'm obviously part of this. In the beginning, it was kind of like frustrating because we were doing a lot of little things and we wanted to do really big things that we couldn't do right away. So like, we really wanted to reach out to all these places, but the hard part was we needed to get our stuff together first. And I think that's what we struggled with the most. So the beginning, I kind of felt like we're not really accomplishing anything because I would reach out to these places and then like they didn't want to help, or they couldn't, or they were already helping with something else. So in the beginning it was kind of frustrating, and that's what I helped with a lot in the beginning. And then by the end I was a part of the 15 bags that we got to give to the daycare, and that for sure was like the most, like, I felt the best about it, because when you feel like you're actually, like the whole time it was like we were doing things and we were helping people, but when you don't see it, it's hard to really feel like you're making a difference. So I think that really helped, like at the end, and especially when we were all together, we were doing these and we were realizing how much we were really putting in these bags and how many meals that they could get from it. Because when you're not, you know, especially with kids, like when you're not at school, I know a lot of people when you're not at school, they don't know if they're gonna have a meal when they're at home. So I think that's a big thing too during break. And something that I've learned is that I take a lot for granted. I remember like a few months ago I was talking to my dad and I was like, oh, I'm such a poor college student, and he was like, you don't even know what poor is. And then I was doing this project and I was like, wow, like I've never had to think about like, wow, I might not have a meal tonight. I might not, like, I'm worried because if I don't go to school tomorrow, I won't have a meal. And so this has really like opened my eyes, like realizing that we helped 15 families, and there's at least 15 families that needed that. Like how many more families that people don't know about are needing that, and how many more students are needing that. So I think for me, the biggest thing I've learned is how much I take for granted and how much that I need to appreciate like things I have.
I'm a rule
Aren't you
breaker.
eyeballing the way for, you know?
My name is Becky Zook. I am a PTK member and a returning mom of 3 to go back to school. And so for me, I jumped into this project to kind of see what food insecurities there were on campus, because I didn't really think there was. And so I'm like, well, let's go into this and we'll dig in. And when I started filling the pantry every week, and every time I would go, the pantry would be empty, it really opened my eyes that how many food insecurities there are. And I was actually in one of my classes, and I had a student sitting next to me, and she's, every day, would say how hungry she is. And I would take a granola bar, I'm like, here's this, and that's where I thought that the flyers would come in really big handy, because before I did this project, I didn't even know there was a food pantry on campus, and getting the word out to more people really, I felt was important. We'll need to doctor these up once we get the new pantry, but at least people can put this. And I think the number one thing that I learned was people don't want to have to go and sign up to go and get their food either. So knowing that it's anonymous, you just walk up, you grab your food, and you're gone, is a huge way that we're helping people get their last minute meal, if in case, they got here, and it might be the person that forgot their lunch money or their wallet at home, but at least we're able to help that person, and they know that there's this. I really want to be able to put, next semester when we have a different picture of it, I'd like to have these actually in my bag and be like, hey, there is this on campus. It's very quiet. You don't have to know about it, and just kind of go there, grab what you need. And if you need more, there are other free pantries, and we do have listed on here the food bank, so that way they know how to get a hold if they have a bigger need.
You could just, you get a tattoo.
That would be the first. But I guess that's what I learned was, and how I contributed all in one. I don't know if you guys want to see them, or if you have seen them, I have them.
I'm terrible at this, just so warning. I'm Drew Wiedemeyer. I'm a part of this honors course. I've been neglecting to sign up for PTK. So, yeah, like Carly said, at the beginning it was kind of very touchy about what we were trying to accomplish. Obviously we had an end goal, but we weren't really seeing what kind of an impact we were making, because there was a lot of setbacks in the beginning. But at the end of the semester, right now, seeing all the impact we have made on people's lives, especially the daycare, and especially just knowing there is a need is very fulfilling to me, that we can fulfill that for them. I was mostly a part of stocking, taking things from the food pantry and stocking the little one in our storage. And yeah, just seeing that Alyssa's donation, all that food we were able to, oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this, I apologize.
You're doing awesome.
So, after our food drive and seeing all that food come in from the entire campus drive was so overwhelming, but in such a beneficial way, knowing that we are doing something so good for our campus, and that we're, yeah.
You're doing great.
Thank you. One thing I learned is, I didn't realize how much of a need there was, and how much I am naive to the fact that there are people struggling, and I'm so glad that we were able to help them. Thank you. Welcome to my TED Talk.
He wanted to be last, I had a feeling.
I'm Joe Crew, I'm part of PTK on this project. My big thing was, like Carly said, we started out and we had so many big ambitions. We wanted to get food coming in, all this. I had hit Fairway and a couple other grocery stores, and of course got declined. And nobody likes to be told no. So I was starting to lose faith and hope, and then my wife actually told me this, why don't you try Orange? You have a son that goes there, So that was my big accomplishment. I spent a lot of time working with Orange, Partners in Education, Jane Even. Sonny Hart is the principal over at Orange. Went to quite a few PI meetings over there, got to know some of the students, meet them, and we have collaborated. They have it's a family literacy night, January 31st, and they are charging admission of a canned good, and the proceeds will come to us. I'm working on now is sustainability with Orange. For every year we could run a food drive through them. I'm still working on that, even though that the course is almost over. I'm gonna be volunteering my time, and I really wanna work with Orange over there. That was my big accomplishment. Got in contact with daycare, got that going, and then I turned it over to the girls because I didn't want no more to do with it. But I did my part, I'm out. But as far as this, I'm a non-traditional student, 48 years old, I got 5 kids, so I know what it is to be short on money. So being able to give back and to give to needy people was just exhilarating. To get out in the community and work with the community and learn from that, because I'm not a very sociable kind of guy. Well, sometimes. But anyway, it was just a thrill to be able to accomplish what we did. And working with these ladies has been excellent.
In Austin.
All right, so my idea to begin with was.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Raina Breitbach. I'm a part of PTK and honors class. My original idea was to go out and talk to the student success specialist, because I knew we were trying to find faculty on campus that would have like the most knowledgeable way of knowing who could profit from our work the most. And my idea was like, well, student success specialists work with students who are in need and who need money at the last second, or who need references to places to fix their car or do anything like that. So I was like, they'd be good people to talk to maybe, and I was like, they'd have an idea of who we could reach out to. That was my original thought, and I was like, well, maybe we could do emergency snack packs, and I think that's still in the process. It's just we started in on it quite at the last second, so we can finish it this semester, but I definitely think it could be something we work on next semester and get worked on for the future. But my idea was to do emergency snack packs that the student success specialists could have in their offices available to students who come to them in need, because I think that would just be something, obviously, like it would even take away the needing of having to go down to the pantry. Like they could go to someone they talk to on a regular basis and trust, and they know that they can go to without any sort of judgment. I think that would just be an even better way of taking advantage of what we've done this semester. So going off of that, the whole holiday baskets came about, because then I thought, well, maybe we can do like holiday baskets and give them to the student success specialist to give to students they think need them the most. Well, then Carly and Trevor had talked, and they were like, well, maybe the daycare would be a better option, because the daycare would have an idea of families that are in need more than, and especially kids that they know are gonna struggle without having the ability to come here over break. And our whole group thought that was an amazing idea, so we went together, formed the holiday baskets, got everything working for that, and then, like everyone said, seeing the holiday baskets put together and knowing that we were able to help 15 families and children over the Christmas break was just incredibly like fulfilling for all of us. We just absolutely loved being able to work together and see what our whole project was leading up to, and that was helping people, and just being able to know that we were helping that many people, and even the people that we didn't see that we helped. It's just incredibly like fulfilling to know that we were able to do that in such a short amount of time. And something that I noticed was when we started out, the pantry was 2 cabinets full, and now we have 8 cabinets full of food. So that is just astonishing to me, that in the short 12 weeks that we were able to do all of that. Just imagine what we can do if we were to continue this project next semester and for years to come. I just think it'd be a great opportunity for students to get involved.
A couple things they did to help promote the food pantry. They took the flyer and they attached granola bars or ramen noodles, and when students signed up in classes at student services, they had a table out there. The student success specialist said that was a huge hit because it helped promote it. Also, they did another, I think, 100 of those, and then we met with the student success specialists in different groups, and so faculty and staff could take that and hand those out to people, so that's something there. Another thing, Austin, who's not here, his dad, his business is cabinetry, and we have a couple cabinets that's been returned, so that little free pantry now will be a base cabinet with a tall pantry above it that will be able to be locked. And it'll be gray and it'll be in the same
I'll show
location.
you a picture, we have a picture.
Yeah, we have a picture. It's a beautiful piece that will provide us signage on the side. Same location, so it's still secret that individuals could be able to go, but, I think it'll serve our needs so much better because it'll be eye level. To
And
do
it
that.
looks a lot more like.
It's
It's
more
professional.
welcoming.
It's more welcoming and.
And then one thing too, and I shared the story with them, we had this, a faculty member, I think, called last week or the week before, and he had a student that was literally starving, had no food. And I think, through a lot of publicity they've done, a faculty member knew we had it, and called our office, so we walked him down the food pantry, then I walked him back and gave him some peanut butter and some more sustainable things, and then he took a picture of, the Northeast Iowa Food Bank, and he was gonna get a hold of them, and so, I think the plus is, yes, some students know about it, but we also, I think, campus-wide, people are knowing this as a resource, and it's being used because
Yeah,
it's.
a lot of us coming into this had no idea we even had a pantry here. So that was another big goal of ours, was just to spread the word and like let people know that we had it here, because like I said, none of us even knew, well, not none, but most of us had no idea we even had it here. So that was our main goal, was just getting the word out there and letting people know. And that was the whole point of the registration thing, was just to let people know, because we knew there would be a lot of traffic coming through there. So we knew that was gonna be an easy way without us having to be there and supervise it, to let people know that we had it.
What was great about the project was students' viewpoint, how students will use it, not our viewpoint.
I think something that really hasn't been emphasized enough is that if it weren't for the staff of the foundation office and for the library staff who created the pantry in the first place, they had it going. And if it weren't for all of the generous faculty and staff on campus who have been donating for months and months, again and again and again, quietly, behind the scenes, to keep this going, we did find other sources of food, so we're getting more donations, and that was part of our goal about halfway through the semester. Wouldn't it be nice if we could develop a system that doesn't keep relying on the same people again and again and again, no matter how generous they are? So we're trying to find other sources, but also meeting with, we met with with Chessa. A few students came and talked to Chessa a couple weeks ago, and we're trying to ask faculty and staff, are you involved in Rotary? Are you involved in churches? Are you involved in groups in the community that you might introduce us to, who might be potential sources? And that helps students get connected to the community, helps them get connected to staff. I know you guys have enjoyed working with, some of the PR staff and just finding out these people in offices who serve you, that they're not just, people behind desks, but they really are the ones making all of this possible.
I just wanted to make a few comments. You guys had the opportunity to meet Joyce Livingston. And the cool piece of Joyce's story is that she saw needs in the community. She came through a community college. She sat in the same chairs that you're sitting in. She saw a need in the community and she took action to make it happen. And that's what I see you doing here, is you see these opportunities to make a difference in your community. And through this, it's opened your eyes to new needs, new experiences, new ways that people are approaching that college-going process. And not everybody has the same type of resources or aid or any of those things. And so just recognizing all of those pieces is so important. And I'm over here like almost bawling. But my name's Holly. I work with Karen. And I have just been so overwhelmed today because this is an area that I'm really passionate about. It's something that I've been doing research in, and that it's an emerging body of work that's coming out talking about the food insecurity on campuses. And to see you move to action in these ways, and the ways that you have really thought about how you can help other students and how other students can be reached. I see a whole bunch of Joyces out there, whether this is something that you do as a profession as far as caring or social work or in that service area, or if this is something that you take forward for the future and you can think about, those other shoes that other people walk in. And I was reading it was an anecdotal story from a researcher that was talking about this, and she was talking about a student who was going through food insecurity. And that person would say she'd go into class And she never felt like she fit because here were all these people talking about how they didn't have the right clothes to wear to this party that they were going, and she couldn't even afford breakfast or lunch that day, and she was going, I can't concentrate on my studies, and I'm in here with what should be a peer group, and it's really difficult. And so recognizing this opportunity and seeing the work that you've done throughout this semester and the passion that has come out through this presentation has been awesome.
Well, like going off that, Joyce even said that Waterloo schools, a couple of years ago, like 90% of their students qualified for free and reduced lunch. So Waterloo schools applied for a grant that allowed all their students to pay on free and reduced lunch. And we're in Waterloo, so how many of those families have parents who are coming here? So if you know it's in this community and it's in this, like, there is a need for directly catering. So to help the students and potentially the parents of the students is also, you know, something that it you know, reaches a lot more than just beyond here, you know, so.
Yeah, we aren't bounded by our campus boundaries, we are a piece of the community.
Yeah.
And Joyce did come and speak to the group, and so I think that's what she was trying to say, is I had an idea, but what else can you guys do?
Yeah, I just want to add something, because I said to you guys, I serve on the food bank board in this region, and we do have a food truck that comes to our education center, we have a food truck that comes here. We'll have a food truck that comes to the new adult learning center, but we're only touching the tip of the iceberg. I see the data every month, and it's becoming, for all the things that we're doing, it's becoming more and more difficult for people to have enough food to eat for themselves and their families. So thank you so much for what you're doing, and don't give up, because there is a growing need out there that we're just continuing to try to fill, but it is continuing to expand. So especially in our rural communities, where it's kind of hidden and people don't really know about it. And a lot of the students that come here are coming in from rural communities. We put trucks out there too, but a lot of people don't come forward because they don't want other people to know. So what you're doing just quietly helps them in so many ways. They may not get it from the food truck, they may not get it from their community, but they'll get it when they're here. So that's what's really important. So thank you so much.
Thanks Karen and Addison for letting us have this
Yeah,
opportunity.
exactly.
Because without, you know, their dedication and support, like we wouldn't obviously be here for, you know, doing what we are doing.
Since the two key decision makers are in the room, I want to just put in a pitch for the possibility of something. Yeah, yeah, not those two. I was at a PTK conference in Des Moines early in the semester, and there's a few community colleges who have honors programs. So we have an honors committee, we offer honors possibilities, but an actual honors program that you go through and you graduate from, it's on your transcript. And some of them have articulation agreements with UNI and Iowa State, which is, if you go through our honors program, then you are automatically enrolled in their honors programs. But that would be perhaps a way of making this class more or less permanent. And maybe uniting it with other service learning projects that become classes as well, because I spent a lot of time just scrambling to try to get this class. It's a 12-week class because we couldn't get it on the books at the beginning of the semester. Same thing is probably going to happen next semester. If we have a more permanent presence, it might mean more to students, and it might help us to keep this going. So. And I want to say all your hard work, solid C's, all of you.
I was going for a 4 point.
There goes that PTK group.
You are no longer a part of it.
Shut my 3-5 down.
Anything else, Karen?
No. This has
Well,
been fun. I wish
yeah.
you guys could have joined us when we went out to eat, but we didn't. We didn't think ahead, but we went out to eat at Basil.
That was eye-opening.
We're all going back, right?
Yeah.
That was like very good.
And everybody made it.
Yeah.
We somehow ate like.
Food and
And we
ball,
somehow
we're there.
like cleaned
That's
every
what I'm
single
saying.
scrape off the, like there was no food going to waste, which is good.
Yeah.
But no, we devoured what, 8 pizzas and like
We
10
tried
or 12
every pizza
appetizers.
but 3 on the menu.
Yeah.
They're small,
Yeah. Right. Yeah, like what, 10, 13 inches?
Oh,
something
but
like
they're
that.
Since we have your undivided attention for a moment, Dr. Allen, I was trying this term to get a meeting set up between you and the officers of PTK to talk about college project And, you know, would continuing the food pantry be an acceptable college project for PTK?
I think so. There's great need, as I said, you know, we have to continue to do this because it's not going away. It's going to continue to grow. So we need to make sure that, you know, if you're here to, you know, to change your life or to expand your opportunities, you know, hunger shouldn't be part of that process. It can't be part of that equation. We need to make sure that we do something about it. And what you've been doing is an amazing project in 12 weeks. I mean, goodness, Tim. Writing hurt on this group. But so that, absolutely,
All right,
absolutely.
Alyssa is gonna be one of our officers.
And Becky.
And Trevor.
Fellowship.
We've
No,
got
wait, what am I?
6
Fellowship?
officers now, I think, yeah.
I'm
Becky, you were
Vice
gonna
President
be
of Service.
service.
I'm PR.
So, we've got 3 of next terms off.